I usually just get the arpeggios. I don't know. I could probably use some rosin on my bow, but whatever. I noticed right then and there I had to really keep my thumb position more relaxed. I think as violinists we're taught you got to use a lot of bow and all this, but I find sometimes the less bow I use, especially in these difficult passages, the more control I have, the easier it is. And if I'm really just playing in a room, why do I need to project? You know? So it's there that the thumb wants to kind of do a grip thing. It could be just the amount of kind of pressure of the bow kind of moving to putting a little more weight on the instrument, so then I feel like I need to sort of grip there. And also just kind of a steadying thing. The hardest part there, I'm going up, so the pressure here is going to feel more when I'm at my weakest, when I'm kind of exhausted, you know. Oh, it's kind of sharp there. You can do it short like that. There really isn't a fermata there. I just kind of made a fermata, but it's just better to memorize that, because how it's written out looks so much more complicated than what it really is asking the violinist to do. Didn't give that note justice before. It's kind of nice how he has it held out like that on a harmonic, so you can let it ring a little bit, and it kind of makes the faster part sound faster. It's like an illusion. You don't have to get every single note at the end there. I mean, a lot of it isn't about getting the notes on the violin, and that can seem contrary to form, but a lot of it is just getting the music out. And a pianist once told me, you know, it's not that I'm such a great pianist, it's that I can somehow hide my errors. And a lot of that, we're not trying to hide our errors, and I know I'm the master of error here. You'll need to look in my past to see that, and my, present. But anyway, to do this, we just need heart. And that's what's missing so much from our country and from the church, is the heart. The heart is missing. And I've said this at St. Joan of Arc, and the priests, they just don't want to hear me. They don't want to hear it. But I said, it's the heart that's missing from the parish. That's why the building project is going to fail, because it's not the walls of the church that need building, it's the heart of the church that needs building. It's the priest saying the Our Father with joy instead of just rattling it off in a huge cattle call of people with prison guards around it. I mean, we can't do this to God and hope that God will reward us. I mean, the devil is laughing at the Catholics right now. There's not been a time where Catholics don't even want to uphold the Ten Commandments, the U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. I mean, how many of us have this stuff memorized, How many of us have considered, if you're a man, especially running for office? They don't want anything to do with it. Well, look where it's gotten us. The separation of church and state. It's basically been a way to weed Catholics out of the government. And when you weed Catholics out of the government, you get an atheist, communist society. Willing to stand up. And then we all wonder why we're all falling into communism. Oh, poor us. Well, did we help the Father Gordon McRae when he was convicted, and now we're crying that God is putting his justice over all of us? I mean, 1994, I must have been about 15. I was in state school at the time. I never even heard of him. And repetition that'll fix it, and just getting away from the music. But I'm getting stuck, I think, with my first finger. I'm holding on to some of it too hard, and so it's not permitting me to go in time through the rest down the strings. I think it's basically a first finger problem there. For my awkward position, I'm really having to play on the corner of my bow. Instead of like I would if I could just play all flat, if I held my bow another way or my violin another way. musicians that are called to help fix the politics. I know so many musicians, especially in Russia, they're persecuted so much. All the 5 major players, I think they were all persecuted, had their works banned at some point. They really had to fight. Paulo Casals, a cellist in a former communist country, he had to fight as well. I don't know why God chooses musicians so many times to fight in the political realm, especially against communism. But I don't know how many of these people were Christians or baptized Catholics. I'm not sure if they were or not. But I know that God has chosen musicians in many ways, not just to speak to us through music, but to speak through our ears also in other ways. Wants me to play that. Very smooth. That's what the line under the note means. So we're supposed to kind of slow down there. Now we're a tempo, but I kind of pushed it a little bit there. Using a lot of bow is going to work to our advantage here. Because just the fact that we're moving across the strings is a motion in itself. Sometimes a rolling motion here of the wrist is more important than actual trying to figure out how to move our fingers across the strings. If we just move our wrist, it kind of moves our fingers with it. And having a really light thumb there too. Full size to a small size, it's going to kind of mess me up a little bit. It could mess up my intonation, also just the memorization of the string placement. That's why a lot of musicians you see, they don't go back and forth from different size instruments. You got to be kind of really some people, they can do violin and viola, but they always kind of, you got to kind of adjust into it. Now my intervals are pretty small there. Easier to play. It's normally violin. So I took an octave and I made it a 10th. Why? You can also do a double stop there. I'm just styling. Maybe a little more drama with a 10th. left hand. So you might want to consider that when you're playing. That maybe what's slowing you down is really your bow, not this other hand in these difficult passages. It can kind of be deceptive or hard to understand what is causing the backup, you know. Especially if you're playing classical music or you're playing just chamber music, it's not really necessary to use a lot of bow. If you use a lot of bow, you're really just going to wear yourself out. You're going to over project, and you're not going to get the small chamber tone quality you want. So for me right now, I just want to practice using a little bit of bow. You can add a little bit of salt and it's fine, but if you add too much salt, it's really hard to take it back out. So it's kind of like that. I think every musician eventually discovers that playing loud and putting a lot of pressure on your instrument, it's just not worth it. I know people who've had to play in really noisy, loud situations, and they've actually amplified their instrument to where they can still play just as soft as possible, because it's just not worth it. At the end of the day, it's not worth it. All of the extra energy you expel, it just ruins the instrument. It flattens everything out. Used a little less bow there. Yeah, I could slide all the way over. But why, you know? Yeah, I just skip the rest of this. It's just really redundant if you don't have anything supporting in the back. You can make more of this. I'm already using way too much bow than I should this part. Practice is trying to use as small amount of bow as possible just to see what happens, you know.